Okay, we are live
All right.
and we have three people. I let them in.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, you can start whenever you like.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'll just give everyone a moment as usual to settle in. And while you're doing that, I'll let you know about equipment for today. So we'll need two pieces of equipment for today, ideally. A physio band. We'll be using that for part of our resistance training today, and then one hand weight. So if you have a hand weight, it can be fairly light. Um, you can use that. If you don't have a hand weight, maybe a water bottle or soup can or something like that, just for a little extra resistance. And as always, for all of our resistance exercises, if you maybe have an injury that you're working through or another reason where you know that the exercise we're doing just doesn't feel great with the extra resistance, I'd recommend going range of motion, which means no weight in hand. Whatever it is we're doing, you're doing it through your comfortable range of motion, as opposed to adding resistance to the exercise. So that's always an option for you. As always, I have my water bottle handy. I'll give you a few water cues throughout our session today, and feel free to just have a drink whenever you need one as well. I'm just going to move my notes a little closer to myself, and we will get started right away. So for our session today, of course, the formatting is the same as most of my classes are. We have something that's very similar to our timed intervals that we do today, just a little variation thereof. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but for now we'll start in a nice comfortable position with back support, maybe with eyes closed, just focusing on our breathing for a moment. And I think we'll do two different things today as far as breathing focus goes. Our first one, both of them are very postural. So our first one's going to be that stretch of the crown of your head up to the ceiling. It's one of my favorite first check-ins in class, just to think about how it feels to take some nice even breaths in and out when we're stretched up really tall through our spine. So go ahead and give me a few breaths in and out like that. Good. So you can kind of notice how that makes you feel. Maybe you feel like you can get a fuller breath in this taller position. Maybe you feel like your shoulders get to relax away from your ears as well as you do it. And maybe it's just the feel of nice airflow with an inhale and an exhale that you notice. From here, we'll move to our belly breathing, and we do that quite often at the beginning of class. So as you take a breath in, you can imagine that your belly's a balloon that you're filling up with air. And then as you exhale, you're going to actively pull belly button to backbone, so squeezing out all the air. So a nice big inhale, like you're filling up a balloon, and an equally big exhale, pulling your belly button to backbone, activating your core muscles. Let's do that one more time. Actually, we'll do it more than one more. We'll do a few more. Good. Keep breathing like that, belly breathing. Let's do two more like that. Big breath in and out. We're just doing some belly breathing here. Good. So breath in, filling up your belly like a balloon, and breath out, pulling your belly button to backbone. You're welcome to keep going with that for a little while. We're going to start to add a little bit of head and neck work at the same time. So those two things might actually still work in sequence with each other. So give me some very small head and neck circles, imagining that the crown of your head has a pencil attached to it that you're drawing a tiny circle on the ceiling. And then go back the other direction. Good. And then let's go bigger circles. So pick a direction. Let's do three, one direction, nice and slow. And then go back around 3 in the other as well. Good. All right, come on back through center. For the most part, we're going to do our warm up one side and then the other side today. But maybe first we'll do a little bit of nice even shoulder shrugs because it's a little bit easier to coordinate both together sometimes. So give me just a little bit of a shrug up towards your ears and then a nice firm shrug press down your back. So shoulder blades are rising up slightly and then firmly setting down your back into that nice set position. So of course we don't need to use this full on squeeze the whole time. We talk about like that 30 to 50% set position, to be a little bit more maintainable, but this is nice to really wake up those muscles that hold our shoulder blades down our back. So let's do one more. Good. And then from there, we'll do just a little forward roll. We're typically just a little bit forward rolled anyway, so we don't need to go very far that way. I would rather you just pull those shoulder blades back until they almost touch each other. So a big squeeze straight back now. We're not squeezing up. We don't need to use those trapezius muscles in this way. It's better to keep our shoulders low for this. 2 more. And 1. Awesome. And actually, maybe while we're here, we'll also do one hinge warm up and then we'll get going on our single-sided warm up. So hands are on your lap as you bring your back away from the chair, if that is accessible to you, and back up nice and tall. So take some time to kind of feel the mechanics of this, keeping your spine long. That little bit of belly button to backbone, again, not a full squeeze like we were doing when we were focusing on our breathing, our belly breathing, but just enough to keep that support through your low back. If this isn't available to you, you'll be doing a gentle press into your chair back instead, staying up tall if hinging is not an option for you. Good. Either way, we'll do 2 more. And 1. Awesome. All right, pick a side. I'm going to start with my left, so maybe you'll choose right kind of as a mirror image. And we're going to do some shoulder rolls to the back to start just on that one side. Also, if you missed my little hints about what equipment we're using today, we're going to use a physio band and 1 hand weight later on. Good. Maybe you'll go just a little bit bigger in your circles. And then maybe you'll add just a little bit of rotation. So we haven't introed rotation for today yet. Make this a small, really controlled rotation through mid-spine. Hips are staying more or less facing forward, even on your chair. Last one. Awesome. All right, take that arm down. Give me just a bicep curl and a tricep press. So you might make a fist as your hand goes up and then open your palm and press back behind you. Or you can keep that open palm the whole time. That's fine too. Good. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. And I think we're going to keep the open palm for the next one too. So we're going to press for the ceiling now. Shoulder is set. Depending on your shoulder mobility, you might not be reaching all the way to full extension overhead. Maybe it's a small lift because if you lift any higher, it's your shoulder that rises up as opposed to just your arm. We're just warming up that shoulder joint. Okay, 2 more. And 1. Awesome. Take that arm down for a little reset. We're going to keep that palm open and press to the side now. I better not do too many on this side or I won't remember which ones I've done to do them on the other. Okay, and then maybe you're going to add just a little bit more reach. You might want to hold on to the side of your chair, the arm of your chair with your free hand, just to give you a little bit of stability as you do that side reach. So we're getting a little bit more oblique work here. Last 2. And 1. Awesome. All right, that shoulder's feeling pretty warm. I got two more pieces before we switch to the other side, and I try to remember what all I did. The first one is going to be as part of our one weighted exercise today. We're going to do a little bit of chest opener, which also works our mid back muscles around our shoulder blade as well. So that one on its own is great. We'll do last two like that. And one. Good. And then you'll bring it down for a quick reset and decide if the next piece is for you. So again, it depends on your shoulder. We're going to open up the same way, but then go up in kind of like an arc above our head and back again. So we've added another piece to that shoulder warm up. Good. Two more. And one. Awesome. All right, let's see about this other side. All right, so we started with our small shoulder circle to the back. So we're on our second side now for warm up. We got a little bigger as we went, as long as your shoulder was feeling okay about that. And then we added a bit of rotation, knowing that we haven't done a ton of rotation. Well, none to this side actually yet, so just be nice and gentle with the amount of range you give yourself there. Got two more. And one. Awesome. Shoulder is set. I believe the next one was our bicep tricep, so we'll do that one next. So again, you can have a closed fist or open palm throughout. That's hand coming up towards your shoulder and then pressing back behind you. Three, two, and one. Good. All right. From here, I believe we did our upward press. So again, this shoulder might feel different and need a little bit of a different range to be comfortable. We're pressing up overhead with an open palm. Good. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, setting that shoulder down again as we get ready to do our side press. So reaching off to the side with that open palm as well. And then after a few of these on the other side, we started to add in that little bit of a side flex, if that feels appropriate for you. Maybe holding on to the chair for a little bit of stability. Good, two more here. And one. Awesome. All right, and then I believe this was the last two things. Hopefully I didn't miss anything too critical. We did our opening out to the side on its own first. Good, let's do one more like that. Let's come down for another little reset. And then again, if your shoulder is okay with this next piece, we're going to open out to the side, come up and overhead, and then down to reset. Let's do 3, and 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a quick drink of water. If you need one to go ahead, and we are getting ready to do our cardio piece. This might be a little bit shorter cardio than sometimes. As I said, it's a lot like our 45-second intervals, but I'm not going to time it. And we're going to do 2 exercises and kind of alternate those for a while and then switch it up after. So our first 2 exercises are our burpees and our sprinter arms. So there's lots of variations there. We'll do a few together nice and slow, and then we'll pick up the pace as you feel you're ready for that. So our burpees have 2 variations. Our first one is hinged as you reach down, and then a nice tall upward reach. And if you need to stay at your chair back instead for full support, you'll be doing the exact same exercise, reaching down and up as far as you can without the hinge. So that's our first exercise. And then our sprinter arms is simply that. So a bent elbow, probably about a right angle at the elbow. Lots of core support needed for this because we have lots of momentum building with the arm swing, especially if you're, kind of feeling like you're propelling yourself quite fast through this. So lots of muscle control needed to keep this going. If you're able to come slightly away from your chair back, we have even more challenge through our core as we do that. So that's another option for you. All right, so let's start with these sprinter arms. We're already here anyway, so let's get this going with a little bit of a longer interval now. Again, I don't have the timer going. You're at the mercy of however long I feel that we'll be doing this before we change it up. So for now, we're going to keep our shoulders more or less facing all the way forward. When we kind of slow it down to the slow motion, we can do a little bit of rotation. But for now, we're going to keep nice, even torso, and our arms are going to pump. And they might pump big, so you can change the size of your movements as well and see how that changes your workload, makes you a little bit warmer, makes you a little more breathless. Good. So we'll keep this one going just for a tiny bit longer, and then we'll change it up to our burpees. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Heading straight into those burpees, down to the floor, up to the ceiling. Good. Even for those ceiling reaches, we're thinking that a bit about posture, right? Well, actually through the whole range of motion, but long spine, shoulders set low. Working at your own pace. So if you want to move faster than me, slower than me, that is absolutely fine. Good. Keep going here, just a little bit longer. Of course, there's lots of things going on here, but if you can think a little bit about that breathing exercise we did at the beginning, again, the belly breathing, I'm going to keep that belly button just a little bit snugged up towards our backbone. Not enough to change your breathing, just enough to keep core muscles engaged. 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to go straight to those sprinter arms again. If you need a rest, that is okay. Take a breather when you need one. So we're going to do this 3 times through, and then we'll have a little reset together. But again, anytime you need that, just go ahead. So again, sprinter arms can be big arms coming, kind of up to face level, or they can come chest level and stay moving a little bit faster in a smaller arc. Can always change it up throughout too, right? Bigger moves and then smaller moves. This one definitely gets you warmer. Good, strong through the core. All right, let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Moving back to our burpees. So reset as needed, reaching down for the floor, up for the ceiling. All right, keep going here just a little bit longer. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Last time. We're gonna head straight back into that sprint. Check in with yourself as well. If you feel like energy levels, maybe you went out a little faster than you intended to, and you need to make this round a little bit slower, that's totally okay. You can focus more on your posture and muscle control as you do some of these if you're moving a bit slower. So that's another option for sure. Again, maybe you're varying the size of your arm movements, keeping those shoulders low. Awesome. We'll finish this one off in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to finish the whole thing off with one last burpee set here. It'll be a pretty short one. Good. If you are hinging, make sure it is truly a hinge, long spine, right from the top of your head down to your tailbone. Good. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Shake it out. Grab a drink of water if you need one. I have one more similar set of 2 exercises that are more cardio based, and then we'll move into some resistance from there. I'm going to start introing that right away. If you need more time to rest, stretch it out, grab a drink, that is totally fine. Both of these are ones that we do quite often as well in class. So our first one is our seated jacks. And as you know, seated jacks, tons of variations. The height of our arm movements can vary a lot, right? We can have bent elbow coming up to maybe not even quite shoulder level. We can have long arm reach coming all the way up and over. And then of course, both arms moving at the same time is even more workload. So lots of options, pick your favorite, change it up throughout as you like. So that's my intro on that one. We'll do more of those right away. And our next one are our skier arms. So this one still has variation. The variation is whether you require the full support of your chair. So we're doing the big push, like you're planting your poles and propelling yourself forward, right? And this one has the option of lots of core engagement to add to the push cycle of this movement. Good. So we're going to start here since we're already here in our skier arms. So hinging is an option. You can absolutely stay at your chair back and still get lots of work out of this one. Lots of core support needed here as well. So we're really focusing on, again, that long spine. If you're hinging forward, you're keeping that length. So you're looking at least slightly forward as opposed to down at your lap right now. Good. We're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we're moving straight into our seated jack. So I will let you decide the length of your lever, so the length of your arms, and whether you do single arm or dual arm moves. Quick check-in to make sure that your shoulder blades are, sorry, itchy nose, set down as well, so that as you're reaching overhead, it's not a squeezy reach, right? Like your shoulders are keeping away from your ears. Good. Always welcome to change the movement throughout. So I'm going to finish off this one with dual arms. And we'll finish for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straight to our next set of the skier arms. Take a rest if you need to in between. I'm going to stay with back support for this round. So even with back support, we need our core muscles to do lots to help us here. So to keep us nice and stable in our chair. Awesome. We're going to finish this one in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, we are moving straight to our next round of seated jacks with the option of having a rest in between if you need. Single arm, dual arm, bent elbow, or straight. Good, yeah, feel free to change it up throughout, single or dual. Almost finished this round. Let's finish this one in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we have one more round of each of these 2 exercises. So again, take a rest as you need, but join us when you can in our skier arms. Good, shoulders are set, core muscles are engaged. Finishing this one in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just a few more seated jacks to finish things off here. This is the last of our cardio-based moves for today. Good. Let's slow count this one down. I'm going to count from 7. We'll go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Shake it out. Give yourself a few head and neck rolls. Drop your chin to your chest. Whatever feels good. Grab a drink of water and grab your physio band. So we don't do this one too often. And as you know, sometimes I do a little bit of lower body work in this class and sometimes I don't. I know that's not accessible for everyone who is in class. So I like to give lots of different options. For this particular one, I'm going to set the band underneath my upper legs, just above my knee. If this is not an option for you, I'm going to try and remember to kind of jump back and forth a few times and show you a few different ways that we can be doing these same exercises. So for this first one, I have the band, and actually we're going to stay here. So once you have the band laced underneath your the backs of your legs and crisscrossed in front, so you're kind of holding the opposite end for resistance, just leave them there. Don't change anything. So I'm going to kind of flip back and forth between having the band interlaced and not, just to give some examples. But if you already have the band here, don't change it. Leave it like it is. So because of that, let's say everybody can count out their own in a moment. So, sorry, a couple of talking points here first. Ideally, I would like your legs to stay evenly spaced here. Now, I realize if external hip support is, or external hip muscles are not particularly strong, it's going to be really easy as I pull on that band to have my legs drop in together and press at my knees. You could put something at your knees right now to prevent that. Or I'm okay if you need to have your knees together in order to do this exercise, that's okay too, as long as you're comfortable there. So lots of options. We get a little more workload on our legs if we're able to maintain that space, but if you're not, that's okay. So our first exercise is at nice and tall. We're gonna do 10 of them, and it's sweeping arms. So I want it to be shoulder blades come together as your rear shoulder muscles engage to pull your arms off to the side and back through center. I was saying, so don't change this if you have the band here. I was saying if you don't have the band interlaced, it's just not available to you. The exact same exercise, more or less, is here, okay? So we are doing 10 of them. If you've already done a few and you've been counting, you can stop when you've done 10. I'm going to do about 5 more right now. And then we'll take a little reset in between anyway. So we'll all be able to catch up. And 1. Okay. So if you're finishing them off, go right ahead. From here, I have one lower body exercise. So we were just talking about external hip muscles. We have 2 different options on this one. Again, if this is available to you for a lower body option, is to tuck your elbows in close to your side. So I say it's like pulling up on the reins of a horse, right? We're keeping that tension on the band with our hands. And we're doing one of 2 things with the legs. We're either pressing our legs away from each other into the band and releasing, or if you have the space in that your chair set up and you are able to do a side step to press into the band, you're welcome to do that instead. So we're alternating sides. So that's an option for you. If neither of those 2 things are an option for you, you're doing glute squeezes. So butt squeeze and release. So hopefully something for everyone in those exercises. So again, the options are knees apart, knees to their starting point. So I'd rather them not fall completely together, or side steps. You guys are picking your favorite and doing it right now, or glute squeezes. Good, so whichever one that is, we're gonna do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and then we're keeping the band the same way. So again, if you have it laced under your legs, keep it there. We are going to our rotator cuff, and actually don't change your grip. It's not worth the change up. Okay, palms are probably facing down. If they're facing up, that's fine too. We're gonna change our grip closer, so we have not very much band between our hands and our knees right now. We're again going to try to maintain as much as possible that leg spacing. So we have a little bit of work to do there, but it's our rotator cuffs, our deep core muscle, or sorry, our deep shoulder muscles. They're like core for your shoulders, are going to move that band side through center. They work best in this close move. So elbows glued to your side to work specifically our rotator cuff. Good, let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna run through those same 3 exercises one more time each. No real change ups on this. So if your band is out front instead of at your lap, you're doing the wide pull aparts, holding each side of the band that way. If you have the band under your knees right now, that is your holding point to go off, pressing to the side, back through center. Shoulder blades squeeze together, rear shoulder muscles working hard to pull those arms back. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Our second exercise here was that leg exercise. So again, side steps, if that's an option for you, side press, if that's an option for you, or glute squeeze. So that one doesn't involve the band. And we'll do 5 more there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and we're finishing that off with rotator cuff. And I forgot to show you last time, if you don't have the band interlaced, what to do. So if you do have the band interlaced, go ahead with those rotator cuff, or it's really the exact same exercise this other way as well. So not very much band needed between your two hands. Lots of control. So I want to control the band on the way back to my starting point as well. Good, let's do 3 more here. 3, 2, and 1. All right, this class always flies by. We're finished with the band for today. I wanted to use the weight at least a little bit, so we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna grab another drink and I'm gonna grab my weight. Okay, I couldn't tell if that was a 6 or an 8. I wanted to make sure. I have 2 extra minutes that I wasn't sure about. Perfect. So pick a side, doesn't matter which one. We're gonna do 3 different exercises. We'll probably only get through 1 set of these before we run out of time, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so we're gonna do a set of bicep curls here. Shoulder is set. Weight is always an option, so if you decide you want to do range of motion today, that's just fine. I'm going to turn my palm to face forward today. If you feel like there's maybe the arm of your chair is making that not so comfortable and you want to go palm facing in, that's totally fine too, to go all the way up, all the way down. So we'll do 10 of these. Good, and I want you to use those core muscles, even though our bicep is not anywhere near our core. I want you to really be stabilizing right now. So working hard to hold your torso in a nice strong position. Let's do 3 more. That might be 11. That's okay. 2 and 1. Good. All right, you can bring that weight to your lap just for a minute. Now, this next one is a bit of a different move for our shoulder. You might want to try it without the weight first and just see how it feels. So it's a little bit chest and a lot shoulder. I would rather have my elbow and my upper arm, let me turn this way. I would rather have it fairly close to shoulder height. It can be a little bit lower, but if it's any higher, I end up raising my shoulder too much. So we're going to open and close, just like we did in our warm-up, but with the weight in the hand. So you can already tell there's going to be a bit of work to hold that shoulder in place. If you decide that you would rather do this without the weight, totally fine. Shoulder is set, arm is up in our set position. Give this a try. We'll do as many as 10. If you need to stop before, that's fine. We're still using our shoulder blade too, right? To pull that arm back. So we've got lots of action going on here. Good, as many as 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So I think I've decided that we're going to switch to the other side now. I had a 3rd exercise, but I think that that's probably sufficient for the shoulder. So we're going to move to the other side and do our bicep and that opening workout on that side as well. So shoulder is set, palm is either facing forward or facing towards you, depending on which is more comfortable from a setup perspective. Good, we got 5 more here. 5, nice and controlled on the way down to 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's take that weight to our lap just for a moment and see how this one feels. excuse me, on this side to do our chest opening and shoulder work here. So just give me one more like that. If you decide that on this side, maybe weight is not your best option, you're welcome to just use the arm. And again, maybe you decide you're not going to do 10 of these. That's okay. I'm going to count out 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep that shoulder low. 7, 8, 9, and finishing 10. Perfect. Okay, that's a lot of work. I'm going to squeeze one last exercise in. It does not have anything specifically to do with your shoulders. It's our paint shakers. It's for our core. Of course, our arms are working a little bit in it, so you will feel it a bit in the shoulders. If you need the chair support, absolutely back on your chair back or slightly forward if that's an option for you. Shoulders are set, weight is held up and down, so you're holding the grip of the weight with both hands. And let's go slow to start with. So you're coming in and out towards your body, away from your body, straight forward. Kind of feel how this feels from a postural setup position, and then start to shorten your move, quicken the move until you're like the paint shaker, mixing up the colors. Good. Remember to keep breathing, core muscles engaged for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a rest. All right, I want to make sure we still leave time for stretching, but I think I'd like to do this one more time. So we're going to do the exact same thing again. Shoulders are set. Weight is coming in and out, nice and slow to start with at about belly button level. We don't want it too high. And then you'll start to shorten the move and make it speedier. We'll make this a short one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Done with the weight for today. Let's stretch it out. I think we'll actually start with some neck stretches today. We were working pretty hard, especially on that opening one. So let's drop ear to one shoulder. And just hang out here for a moment, maybe even sending a little bit of, imagining that your breathing could make more space to stretch the trapezius muscles that run up your neck from your shoulder. Good. Bring your head back through neutral. Drop your ear to the other shoulder. Same thing. Nice big breaths in and out. All right, head comes back through neutral. We're going to move back to the first side again. I think I might switch things up a little bit here, so I'll try not to confuse anything in the process. I'm going to take one hand and tuck it back behind my back. And we're going to actively press your hand into your hip. Maybe your elbow comes back just slightly if you have the space for that. And then we're going to drop our ear away from that side. So we're back in the same stretch we were just doing. We've just added a little more kind of tension down the body as well for the stretch. And then from there, instead of ear to shoulder, you might change your gaze to look down towards your hip on that same side instead. Good. Ease your gaze back through neutral. Unwind that arm and let's slice it across body. Shoulder is set low to give our arm a hug. If you would like to add a little extra to this one, you may rotate just slightly towards that hand that's currently extended. And you might also look over those fingertips or back behind your shoulder for a full shoulder check. Good. Ease your way back through center. You can unwind that side. We'll do those same few stretches on the other side as well. So hand into your imaginary back pocket or onto your hip, whichever is better for you. Hand pressing just gently into your hip so that your elbow pulls back, and then we'll drop our ear now to that other shoulder. And then maybe we'll rotate our gaze to look down towards our hip and get the stretch just a little more towards the kind of mid back of our neck. Good. Head comes back through neutral. You can unwind that arm and slice it across body to hug that arm in towards your chest. Shoulder is low. Maybe you're rotating towards that stretch and also looking towards the extended fingers. Good. Ease your way out of that stretch. Let's stretch a little bit through our side body on the next one. We have a few different variations of this one as well. So one hand can be on your lap or on the arm or base of your chair. We can just do a really active press for the ceiling. So if you're more comfortable there, go ahead. Or your active press can go slightly cross body so that you side flex just slightly to get this stretch. And then also we have the option of slightly rotating our gaze and our chest to look a little bit up to the ceiling if that's comfortable for you. So lots of options here. Pick your one that feels the best for you. Good. Ease your way out of that stretch. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Shoulders are set. One hand is available for support. The other one presses for the ceiling, presses slightly diagonally, and then maybe your chest opens up slightly as well towards the ceiling. Awesome. You can ease your way out of that. Let's see. I would like to do one last shoulder stretch, and then we have a breathing and kind of just a nice movement exercise for ending our class today. So let's open up with palms facing forward, big breath in as your arms come back in a low diagonal and return through center. So big press back and release. We'll do two more like that. One more. All right. And then for our final breathing movement exercise for today, again, lots of options as usual. If you need to stay on your chair back for support, hands can either be on your lap or on the base of your chair. We're doing some big breaths in and out where we're stretching out through our spine and releasing. If instead you'd like to do some hinging, it will be big breath in, come tall, breath out, come down, take a breath or two while you're here, and then you're welcome to stay there or come back up to reset and do it again. Option number 3, since there's always lots of choices, is borrowing cat-cow from yoga. So if you like that extra spinal movement and stretch of scooping forward and then curling your way back up, go ahead and do that. So pick the one that feels best for you. Add in some nice breaths in and out while you're doing it. We'll do 2 more of whichever one you have chosen. And then whenever you come back up nice and tall again, you can just stay there and we'll finish class. As always, 3 big breaths in, starting down low, reaching for the ceiling. One more here. All right, thanks for joining me today. If you would like to chat or have any questions, feel free to pop on.
Great class as always. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Catherine. I appreciate it.
See you guys next week.
Yes, sounds great. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, Jeremiah. And oh, the other. Thank you. I think Megan already disappeared, so.
Okay, that went fast.
It did. I know. Good thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you next week.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.